There is no evidence that wearing masks help. There is no evidence to do the same. I was asked when I posed the question, do you really think masks help? I was asked, well, we should be doing something. What else should we be doing? And the what else should we be doing rather than wearing masks, I have 3 answers. If you have 5, that's great. Let's hear what would really make a difference. And the first principle is we need to work with nature, not against nature, because often we make things worse. We have survived, if you can hear this, for millennia. In fact, I think it's more than thousands of years. It's probably millions of years that have brought us to this place. We've evolved together with the micro, unseen world of viruses, bacteria, fungi, microparasites. And we've done pretty well by being here. And I'm convinced that there are no bad viruses, because they would have been wiped out a long time ago, and all of them, each of them, have a place. The virus that causes cowpox. Wow! It was discovered that that same virus, given a cowpox virus given to a human being, would cause them to get cowpox, but then they would be totally immune to smallpox. And smallpox killed 30% of those people who got it. So the first vaccine was another virus. The very first antibiotic discovered by man was what came out of the root system of a fungus, a mold called penicillin. And so the first antibiotic came from a fungus. And the spores of that fungus are unseen to our eyes. And so you don't have to look very far to realize that we are closely united to the unseen world of bacteria, fungi, viruses, parasites, and others that we can't even mention. Well, I don't know their names, other unseen classes of organisms. The bee cannot produce honey without microorganisms in its gut. We cannot have a strong immune system without microorganisms. And more people are discovering that it's our gut microorganisms that are the center of our immune system. And often we try and help nature and make it worse. So what are my 3 things? Well, firstly, we need to spread viruses as widely as possible, especially through kids, because their immune system by nature is strongest from birth to puberty. And so as kids play together, boys rough and tumble, girls talk to each other in babies crawling. They pick up dust, and if they don't get enough of that dust with its microorganisms, often they are susceptible to chest infections or asthma. So one of the main root causes, it is proposed, is of asthma, later on in chronic asthma for the rest of our life, is not getting enough microorganisms into our chest. So we have, if you look up on Google, Dr. Google, you type in their hygiene hypothesis, you will see that it is hypothesized that mothers that over inoculate or disinfect, mothers that over disinfect playpens and stop kids crawling in the dark, in the dust, they in fact are doing them a disservice, and they are more prone to getting asthma and other chest infections, lung infections. So the first thing is, let's share our microorganisms. Mothers sucking on a dummy and giving it to the baby only strengthens the unseen link of viruses, giving that baby her own bacteria, etc. So the baby gets stronger, and then if it falls on the floor and the mother picks it up again and sucks it to make it lubricated, she picks up bacteria and viruses from the floor. I love the Afrikaans saying, "Wat maak nie, dood nie, maak vet." What won't kill you will make you healthier. So the second thing is that we must do is we must be prepared to, if we do get sick, if we feel weak and listless, and we feel like going to bed, go to bed. Don't run to the doctor. Don't ask for an antibiotic to get you well quickly, because then you won't get well properly and you won't build up your immunity. For I think it's 30 years, I haven't had an antibiotic. I haven't ever had a flu jab. As a child, I had smallpox vaccination and a polio vaccination. And I think it was, not I think, I'm convinced it was a good thing. And I think it was compulsory. But flu jabs, you have to have every year, another one, because it's man-made, man-concocted, man-put together, and it doesn't do a truly good job. But bed rest and getting the real virus or stomach bug or whatever, you will overcome it. You'll be stronger because of it. And so the second thing is to avoid, as far as possible, antibiotics, medication, especially medication that's focused on dealing with symptoms and not root causes. I can go on because that is the main focus of my work, is to help people with diabetics. Diabetes is basically a nutritional disease, and it needs to be dealt with nutrition and not medication as far as possible. If you've got type 1 diabetes, again, nutrition is the best form of healing, and you probably will need some insulin supplement. But let's always realize that nature knows best. I believe that with all my heart, and sometimes we help nature only, we think we're helping nature only to dig a deeper ditch for our health. And the third reason, the third thing that I would do rather than this sort of thing, is to deal with the real elephant in the room, the real cause of death that can be easily avoided. Alcohol-related deaths. 50,000 killed by corona in in 2020 and beginning of 2021, it's been a whole year now, 50,000. Sounds huge. Unnecessary death by a virus. Guess what alcohol-related deaths cause? Accidents, pedestrians being drunk, knocked over, rape, murder. That's inflamed by alcohol. It's not the alcohol, it's the abuse of alcohol. Alcohol, I believe, is one of God's gifts to mankind. And wine is a most wonderful drink, and it's, I believe, also in its natural form, healthy. It's formed by mainly bacteria and also yeasts. And the yeast cells die, and even those dead yeast cells provide such incredibly rich nutrients for our body. They sieve those out. Anyway, that's a long story. That is not my story now, but let's avoid the things we can, like abuse of alcohol, abuse of medication. And the big thing for me, the greatest death that's unnecessary in the world, is murder of unborn babies. Some people call it child sacrifice. On the altars of convenience and sexual pleasure, we bring the unborn that God loved even before they were born. We bring them to an end before they can take a breath of fresh air, before they can see Mummy and Daddy. Oh Lord, may God help us put Corona in context with deaths that we can avoid, deep suffering we can avoid, like fatherlessness, where fathers father children and then disappear. Children growing up without a father is the most terrible disadvantage. And even a bad father is better than no father. And mothers, single mothers, particularly where the father has abandoned them, it weakens the whole society. And lastly, our attitude towards foreigners. Very clearly, the Bible, through Jeremiah chapter 7, verses 3 to 7, says that if you can treat foreigners, widows, orphans, the unborn, properly, you'll be able to live in the land. You'll be able to more than just survive. And that is surely what we're destined to be, is to be full of life and truth and light. And the lightness will push out the darkness, and the darkness will have no effect when we are living in the light of God's goodness. God bless you. And may 2021 be such a blessing to you and your loved ones, your family, and build out those unseen networks of immunity. Avoid synthetic drugs. Get the rest and the good nutrients you need.